the One UI 6 beta running on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from One UI 6. I think that was based in part off the fact that Android 14 as a whole seems like a pretty lackluster upgrade from Android 13. That's not a bad thing necessarily. Not every upgrade has to be a wholesale departure. Sometimes it is nice to see some things locked in and some optimizations, but Samsung took a bigger swing than I thought with One UI 6. Some aesthetic things, but also some functional things as well. They have some work to do, but so far, so good. We'll talk about it, but that's after we talk about today's video partner, Mint Mobile. If you're tired of paying too much for your cell service, then Mint Mobile has a solution for you, especially now with their best plan, their unlimited plan, running at 50% off. $15 a month. Get you great 5G speeds and coverage. So use the link in the description or the QR code that you see on screen and get started today. If you have an older device, they could send a SIM card out to you. If you have a newer device, give them a call, speak to a live human being, and get set up with an eSIM. You could get set up in as little as 15 minutes, so there's no excuse to not switch over and start saving money today. Use the link in the description. Does directly help the channel, but thanks again to today's video partner, Mint Mobile. And we're back thanks to today's video partner, Mint Mobile. Again, do click that link in the description. It does help out the channel. So let's talk about some of the things that did change. The big one that you're going to notice right off the bat, which was the first thing I noticed, were changes to the notification shade and your quick toggle. You can still swipe down and get your notifications once, and then swipe down again to go ahead and get the full panel of toggles. But you can change that and make that process a little faster if you want. Go ahead and hit edit. Then you go into quick settings, instant access. You're going to put that on. And what that's going to do is that instead of swiping from the center, if you swipe from the top right, you get the full access to the toggles right away. I like that. Now, you might be saying, where have I seen that before? May look familiar to iOS users, perhaps. I don't care about that. You want to say, Apple takes plenty of ideas that they like too. So if there's an idea that can help people, that they can put into One UI and make the entire thing a little bit smoother, a little bit faster, I'm all for it. I don't want to hear that back and forth. But personally, I like the way they've laid out the toggles in One UI 6. I like how they've kind of boxed them in a little bit, but kept the aesthetic, still have the bleed through, the transparency there. And I like the fact that you got device control, you've got the brightness settings, you can put it right into the dark mode, but you have all your toggles here as well. I like that, and I like being able to swipe down, because if you know you got to hit one, if there's one that you're not going to get here in the quick bar, you could go down and get your full toggles with a swipe. I like that, and if you don't have to look at notifications, you could save that second swipe, which is really nice. And then the aesthetic changes, which are pleasing to me, but that's going to be a personal choice. The other thing that it was the big thing that I want to go over is the camera stuff. So this is the camera app. We're going to compare it to the one in One UI 5.1 that I've got here on the Flip 5. And you can see there are some font changes and aesthetic changes, but if you look at the top there, they've made some edits to how easy it is to get to certain settings that you want. So it's a little clearer that if I hit the aspect ratio, if I could hit the megapixels, it just looks a little bit better, and it's a little clearer to me what I need to do at any particular toggle to get to what I need to. So in a pinch, in a bind, if I'm trying to do something quickly, this one is a little bit more confusing than this one. It'll take some getting used to, but I do like the fact that they've cleaned that up quite a bit. The other thing with camera that they've changed, which is interesting, is adding the camera widget. So if you're going to go into the widget here, and you'll see I have that set up at the top, and if I push that, it'll take me to a setting that I predetermined. So if I go back to the page here, I go back to the widget, I hold it down, go to settings, I could put all kinds of things here. I could do the tile, I could do custom camera, but I picked the starting mode. So if I want it to go to the selfie cam in this particular orientation, I could have it go to the selfie cam. Portrait, video, pro video, night mode, panorama, all the way down the line, single take if you want. So if you're somebody that does stuff heavily with photography, you can have several of these tiles set up to take you to the one that you want in any particular moment. So that way, if you know it's going to be a night shot, you don't have to fumble around, you don't have to swipe around, you don't have to wait for the computer to pick up on that. You can go right to night mode. Same with panorama, food, portrait mode. If you're a vlogger or something like that, you just want to catch a reaction to something, you go right into selfie mode, and you can have several of these panels and widgets set up, an entire page of them if you want. That'll go ahead and name them, put a photo for them, so you can have the camera go to the setting you want when you want it. It's not a huge thing, but it is something that's pretty cool if you're somebody that uses the camera a lot and you're tired of having to scroll through always. Oh, I wanted a portrait here, so I'm going across, and I wanted a selfie, so where's the thing I got to hit to reverse the camera? Yeah, it takes a second or two, but it's nice to be able to just go over, especially if that's something that you do all day long. They have some things they got to do still, though. They have some things that they have to work on. Animations are not as smooth as they should be. Brightness stuff still kind of flickers. It's a beta. That stuff's going to be there. I'm not going to eat their lunch for that. The one thing that I hope is not a change, and I hope it's just an error so far, it's taken a bit of muscle memory. But activation for back is a lot closer to the display. And sometimes you hit it, see, that time is behaving. But you'll be like right around here is the activation for back, or here sometimes even. And I'm used to that being further to the edge. So there'll be a lot of times that I have to make sure and concentrate that I'm swiping from the exact middle of the display, because I'll hit back on either side when I don't expect to. And again, that's a muscle memory thing. I could get used to that, but I would like to see them go back to the old, whether it's activation points for the swipes and backs on either side. But I was impressed overall with their performance. The one thing that I was really impressed by is battery life. On a beta and a change for an upgrade, I was not expecting to still get over 8 hours of screen on time on the One UI 6 beta. Really good. Spectacular. It's like you almost can't kill it. Battery drain was fantastic. There was no network bleed or drain. I absolutely love the battery on One UI 6. That's what I look for really in a beta. That's what I look for in something that to make sure they're at least going in the right direction. Like I said, I'm not going to eat their lunch if there's problems, but I at least like to see battery maintaining or heading in the right direction. If you have concerns about that, none to be had on the S23 Ultra running One UI 6. If that's across the board, then we have a lot to look forward to in the Fold 5, Flip 5, A54 down the line. If they could bring those optimizations and efficiencies all the way across the board, then One UI 6, with the aesthetic stuff that I happen to like, looks like a winner to me. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that seamless day.